Stages of Empowerment, Part 2. Beloved one, sometimes you feel a bit like the mole that is burrowing under the ground. You feel that there must be light somewhere, but you are not quite sure where it is. Yet the most wonderful part of you, the divine part of you, nudges you forward so that you keep going and going and going with hope in your heart. Even though you may not see the light, you keep burrowing until finally you run into a rock which forces a new direction, and up you go, and there you find some light. Sometimes when you come across the rock, you have a few choice words to say. You're not too happy to be running into the rock, and yet, after you have changed the direction, you have come up. You begin to see that the rock was exactly what you had asked for, at the soul level, to make a change in the direction. At the time it is sometimes a bit bruising, but that is all in the perception, is it not? You are coming now to a place where there is a geopolitical grouping and several others upon the face of our Holy Mother the Earth, are beginning to encounter the rocks, to see that a new direction is necessary. Your founding fathers of this country recognized, had it revealed to them, that each individual has the right to the pursuit of happiness, to life, to freedom, that all are created equal. This was a great revelation and a great manifesto which was given as a gift. It is an ideal which has not yet truly been realized, but it is as the carrot in front of the horse. It is out there for one to strive for, to bring into manifest experience. It is also true in some of your other geopolitical groupings as well. This is not the only country. Now, as you have seen, power, however sincere it may start out to be, often gets a bit detoured. Even the most well-meaning of your leaders finds himself or herself with much of the molding of pressure, and there are many of your sincere people who would be leaders, who do not want to be in that position because they understand that the pressure would be very, very great. So when you have ones who come forward to be as a leader, whether you agree with them or not, you have to admire their courage. What you are calling forth now are ones who are strong enough to stand up to all the pressures of the various groups who have the vested interest. Every week in your timing there is something which comes to the attention of many of you as to what has been behind the various decisions. There is coming a time when it is going to be as the 100th monkey example, where there is going to be a complete change, an overhaul, an upheaval, if you will, because there is too much which has come to light to be ignored. So far, many of the brothers and sisters have been going about with the sunshades on the eyes, not looking at the light, not wanting to see. They are saying, well, yes, okay, I've heard that, I've read it, but what does that have to do with me? Very soon it is going to come. Already it has come for many, to a personal level where it does have something to do with them. And they are beginning to feel a bit of the personal nudging. They are beginning to wonder, do these other ones truly have power over me? I have been brought up to believe, even in the most enlightened society, that the ones who are in power are distant from me. They make the laws, they make the rules I have to obey. And yet the collective consciousness within the enlightened grouping is coming to a place where there has been, there is, there will be, too much in evidence that cannot be ignored, to a place where ones are going to say, I do have power and I'm going to use it. You are going to see this. It is going to feel as a great upheaval, because separated ego, as we have spoken many times, does not like change. Separated ego, even though it may feel uncomfortable, does not want anything to change because, after all, what I know, although it is not comfortable, it is familiar. But even separated ego is getting enough of a nudge that there is going to be much coming to the forefront, much of change, and you are the ones who are going to be very instrumental in rejoicing in what you are seeing happening. You are going to bring it about, because you are going to begin to take back the awareness of your power. Now, you have never lost your power. You can never truly give your power away. But you can be in a place where the awareness says, I don't have power. Where the belief says that the power is outside of me and others have control over my life. But you can never truly be without power, otherwise you would not be. If you are, and you are, then you are power. You not only have power, you are power. So in truth, you can delude yourself, as has been done for generations of time, into believing that you have to do as others say. And there is much reinforcement for this as the small ones grow up, but at the same time you have rebelled against that. Each and every one of you in your own way, even the quiet, demure little ones who will be the model of behavior, have rebelled at times. Some of you have been outright rebellious. And I do not mean violent when I say rebellious, but I mean the place where you stand your ground and you say, I am equal to you. I am power the same as you. I have power over my life, my decisions, and you do. If you had sitting in front of you right now the leader of your particular geopolitical grouping, the one known as the president or prime minister, etc., there would be an interesting feeling of reaction with all of you on individual levels. There would be the initial feeling of, I am in the presence of one who is important. Respect must be shown to him or her. And I have heard this said among you, either to him or her as a person, or at least to the office that he or she holds. That would be the initial reaction. Then many of you quickly would come to the place of saying, but they are my equal. They put their socks on one at a time. They have daily ritual that they follow in the bath. They are very much the same as I. Let us speak equal to equal. Now would they like that? It is not what they are accustomed to. If you were to know that the office that you hold a life office, is equal to the temporary office that you hold, although they hold a life office as well, they would come to a place of equality, a meeting of the Christ, let's put it that way, where they could be and would be discussion and dialogue. Are you likely to have that opportunity? No, not the way things are arranged now, because they have to be protected. See you the irony in this? Those ones supposedly hold the most power in the geopolitical grouping, and yet they have to be protected by all of the so-called Secret Service, so they go nowhere truly in freedom. Yet they are the most powerful in the country. Ironic? Yes. Very interesting. Contemplate that for a while. In truth, you have more freedom than they do. You have more opportunity to exercise your freedom. As you will take the example of meeting and talking with your honored leader, you could feel an equality of the Christ. You could imagine speaking to that one person to person. You would be speaking as Christ to Christ after all the formalities and initial reactions got out of the way. As you do that and you feel it really deeply within yourself, there comes an awareness of empowerment, not the power of the world, because as we have spoken, the power of the world has to be protected, but an awareness of your own divine power, the power of the Christ, the power of the being of you, the individualized being which is eternal. As you had the feeling of speaking one-on-one with whoever would supposedly be in power, there was a feeling, either very strong or subtle, of empowerment where you felt, well, hey, you know, I have power. I am power. I am life, the same as anyone else walking on the face of our Holy Mother the Earth. You use your power in every day in all the choices that you make. Many times your choices are made out of habit, out of what has been taught you down through the generations as being acceptable, safe, or perhaps the best way to go that will bring to you what you think you want the results to be. But every once in a while you come up against a rock, like that mole that we spoke of earlier, and you have an opportunity to stop and think, how can I see this another way? How can I make choice in a loving way and yet with the empowerment of my own divinity? How can I make choice anew? And in that moment, it is most divinely exquisite moment, the soul of you, and even the spirit which goes beyond the individualized soul, has a chance to influence the choice which is made. Sometimes you surprise yourself by what you do, say, or think. Those are the pivotal moments that change your life and change the collective consciousness. Stages of empowerment. First comes the understanding that I have not lost power. I have temporarily taken upon myself an awareness, a belief, that power could be outside of me, that someone else has more power than I, knows more than I do, can direct my life because they perhaps see it from a different vantage point, and perhaps they can direct me. That has been an old belief system handed down generation to generation for a long, long time. Then comes the stage of denial, the stage that says, well, this is the way it's always been. I don't have power, I don't have choice. Look, every time in the lifetime when I have tried to stand up for something, this is your denial speaking. Every time I've tried to do that, I have been asked to give up the body, off with the head, or some other means. Do you think I want to do that again? Denial asks. But the still, small voice within you remembers that you are not the body. You are not even the lifetime experience. You are the divine Christ which always resurrects itself, which will always be forever ongoing and forever creating. Now, how do you create a sense of empowerment? Practice. It comes with attracting to yourself those moments where you feel empowered, where you know. You have faith. You trust that you are power, divine power. Temporal power, as we have just spoken, comes and goes, and has to be protected, but divine power always is. So you practice. First thing in your morning, do the stretch, take in the power of you. Feel it coming not only into you, but also out of you as you have the great stretch. Know yourself to be alive. Throughout the day, be mindful of every choice that you make, and be mindful that it is a choice. That empowers your awareness. I choose to look with love, with friendship. I choose my words with love. I choose to stand for what I believe. I choose a posture that shows that I am standing in that belief. Be mindful in everything that you do, and when you lay the head upon the pillow in that evening, you will be aware of how much power you are, because you have chosen every moment mindfully, whatever you have chosen to do. You need not bring judgment about the choices. That is sometimes disempowering in the short term. Just be mindful of choices that you make. Separated ego says, I am just one person. I don't have power. Everyone else has power over me. From the time I was born to the time that they do something with my body, they all have choices that they make with their powers over me, but I don't have choice. That is denial, and it is untrue. You are not separate. There is a magnetism that draws all others at least an opportunity to know their Christhood. The still, small voice speaks to you, and you come to a place where you want to know. You want the awareness of your power. You want to know the joy and the freedom of the true power of who you are. You do that by being mindful of every choice that you make, every small choice and every large choice, because in truth all choices are equal. There is really no big choice and no small choice. They are equal and equal in power. Even the ones you would see to be small choice build upon themselves until they become what is then realized as a big choice. You are doing that right now. You are adding one revelation to another revelation to another revelation, and they seem to be as small drops of water. Yet after a while it is quite a cleansing, a bucketful of water, if you will. Practice. That which you will focus upon grows. That which you appreciate does appreciate. If you appreciate joy, laughter, happiness, humor, friendship, they will grow in your experience. Look for those qualities. They are always there. Many times the world will speak to you. It will shout, it will scream, that this is a hard place to be, and you must watch out. And because you have set for yourself much evidence from other lifetimes that it could be difficult, there is a first habitual reaction that it is easy to fall into. But it is just as easy to fall out of it by being mindful. You have much power. Practice your choices now. Be mindful of your choices. Be mindful of your power of choice. So be it.